How effectively can the Los Angeles Raiders rebuild their roster through the 2025 NFL Draft? It's another Mock Draft Monday, and today we're doing a 7-round mock draft for the Las Vegas Raiders. Sadly, we didn't get a quarterback. We're going to jump right into the team needs here, Ryan. We decided that we thought that it was best for where they're sitting at 6, no trade up, to just be patient and see if someone's available. But it feels as though this Raiders situation is going to be looking for a veteran quarterback. Sam Darnold is a name that's been brought up. Trying to move up and draft might not be in their cards, but certainly is still a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterback at some point is a fair option and one that we kind of took a look at over this Raiders draft. But I think overall, Joe, whoever the quarterback is, need to get weapons on this roster right now, man. Yeah. Outside of Brock Bowers at tight end, like this is a depleted roster as far as wide receivers, running back. Obviously, we talked about quarterback. Like skill position needs to be improved. On the defensive side of the ball, I think you can just look quickly to the secondary and then the second level at linebacker, like the back ends on defense and the skill position on offense. Like that's where the priorities needed to be for the Raiders.
It's going to be a best player available type of a draft. There are a lot of roster holes. They've got, the crazy thing about this roster is they have some insanely dominant premier guys like Christian Wilkins, like Max Crosby, like Brock Bowers. But outside of that, any of those guys can be replaced on this team. Jumping into our mock draft up on the screen here, these are the picks that we had through 7 rounds. Let's start by talking about Will Johnson, who was on the board for us to be selected 6th overall. We're both big fans of Will Johnson. We both think that he's going to be likely the second corner taken after Travis Hunter. Super instinctual, very long and physical corner. Maybe won't be a premier elite guy in terms of long speed, but is good enough to be potentially an all-pro in the NFL.
There are only 2 options there at 6. One, trade up and be aggressive for a quarterback, but if you sit at 6, you need to take the best player available, and at that point, it was Will Johnson. Because like you said, 6'2", 200-plus pounds, incredibly intelligent, really good change of direction, good ball skills. Like this is going to be your number 1 corner for the foreseeable future, and that's a position that continues to get more and more important on the NFL level.
At pick 37, we lucked out with a guy who slid a little bit, who could end up being a first rounder, that being Jahad Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama. He is an athletic freak. After the combine, he could be somebody who really rises through this process. But at 37, Ryan, this felt like one of those picks where you got to run to the podium. You're sitting there thinking like, wow, this guy's still on the board. We have a chance to get a very fast, fluid mover like Campbell to be a consistent mainstay in the middle of our defense. You got to be aggressive in getting this guy.
Well, and I think Pete Carroll likes this type of player on the second level, too. I mean, even if you talk about like his Seattle days with guys like Jordan Brooks and KJ Wright, like he likes rangy second level defenders that can do a lot and be versatile. And while there's some concern over a player like Jahad Campbell as far as like processing, that kid is long, he's athletic, he can do things in coverage. I could see him playing Mike, Will, or Sam in certain instances. And I think that overall, the Raiders need multiple guys on the second level from an upgrade perspective, and Jahad Campbell gives you some versatility to be excited about at the linebacker position.
I have to be honest, at pick 68, when we went to the 3rd round, I was really excited as soon as I saw Trevion Henderson was still on the board. This one feels like a total no-brainer to me if he's available somewhere on day 2 and they're considering it. They need a new dynamic weapon at running back, and why not draft the guy that Chip Kelly just coached and helped turn into one of the better running backs in college football? He got a ton of production out of him. He was a home run threat this year. Henderson to the Raiders would be an electric pick.
I literally was doing a 7-round mock draft for the Las Vegas Raiders a couple weeks ago, Joe, and it was hilarious because the running back room is just an island of misfit toys, dude. It's like Zamir White, Amir Abdullah.
I don't know how he's still playing, by the way. Amir Abdullah still playing is crazy.
Like, it is a ridiculous just band of running backs that don't make any sense, right? So upgrading, absolutely. I think there's a possibility that Trevion could be off the board at this point, but he's had some durability stuff in the past, so like who knows exactly what the medicals look like. If he's there, though, that injects explosiveness and home run ability into a room that desperately needs it after only averaging less than 4 yards a carry last year as a team.
Out of the rest of these picks that we have, we managed to address a lot of positions of need with high potential players. What are some of the ones that stood out to you that you think are going to be impactful if the Raiders got them?
Yeah, I mean, we had Kevin Winston Jr., obviously the safety from Penn State, falling into the early portion of day 3. He's a really talented safety, but unfortunately he's got some medical stuff that might cause him to fall down boards a little bit, but he's 6'2", he's 200 plus pounds. He's got some nice ability to play both on the third level and second level in different instances. And then, man, Jamari Caldwell, which we got in like mid-day 3 here, dude. Powerful 340-pound nose tackle out of Oregon. I think if you put him in a defensive front at times with Christian Wilkins, you can allow Christian Wilkins to be a little bit more of a gap penetrator and a guy that can play in the backfield a little bit more and allow Jamari Caldwell to eat up blocks. And he's got a little bit of juice from a nose tackle as well. So I really am a big fan of getting Jamari Caldwell on that first level to defense for the Las Vegas Raiders.
I was really juiced up about us getting Charles Grant from William & Mary and Jackson Slater from Sacramento State, 2 small school guys that have some pretty good potential. Slater dominated at the Senior Bowl. He was really steady and consistent. It was a bit of a riser during that week, and I've always been a big fan of Charles Grant. Anytime I see him on the board in these mock drafts, I'm going to take him because he's got the length, the mobility that you look for in either a future really high-end tackle or guard. If he hits his potential, he could be a really good starter for this Raiders team. Folks, let us know in the comments, if you're a Raiders fan, how would you grade the mock draft? What was your favorite pick? Let us know below. We want your feedback. Hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.